What's going on, guys? Alright, so apologize for the lack of videos for a couple of weeks. Not that anybody's hanging on my baited word, but it's just been busy. So just to kind of catch all up on things, what all we got to go over. Oh, before we get started, let me preface something. Spent all day yesterday blowing insulation up in the attic to try to help with the environmental conditions here in the shop, since there was no insulation up there. And as such, the entire place in here is covered in dust. Now, it's not fiberglass dust, so don't freak out. I'm smarter than that. The insulation I was using was it's made from recycled material, and you blow it in, but it's not fiberglass based. It's like paper and cloth based, that sort of thing. I don't know what all's in it, but it ain't fiberglass. It's just really dusty, like super dusty. We even had the big door open, had the machine sitting outside, and ran the hose in and up ladder into the attic, and even then it's still just covered everything in here in like 8,000 pounds of dust. So it's going to take a little while for all the dust to kind of work its way out as I do stuff and use things and move it around. The problem is, said dust is making my sinuses and eyes just absolutely go bonkers in here as I try to get it all worked out. So you'll have to put up with a little more than usual the sinus drain and stuffiness going on, and eyeballs just absolutely bugging out and burning. So that all out of the way. Last weekend had my little annual friends and family get together that we have every year. Why is there something on my shirt? Sorry, easily distracted squirrel. At our property. Had a good couple of days of camping out and enjoying nature, and got a little training time in. Covered a couple of different things. Had really good attendance by everybody. My good friend Matt Bracken was there. Another good friend of mine that I'll tell you about him later, because I want to do a separate video on that. He was there. My good friend Noel Bishop from Bishop 30 Solutions. He come down and hang out with us. Great guy. Can't say enough good things about Noel. If you're in the northern Alabama area, look him up. I'm going to put a link in the description down to his website. Noel does some good stuff, and is definitely very like-minded. So check out Bishop 30 Solutions. Non-shameless plug. Anyway, as is usually the case, I didn't get much video done. Too busy participating in stuff. Sorry, but participation takes precedence over doing video. Not to mention, a lot of it I wouldn't video anyway, just for privacy and OPSEC reasons. Or if I did video it, I wouldn't make it public. Put it that way. Yeah, got some good stuff done. As some people have commented on a couple of the Instagram photos I put up, I am very blessed to have the group of friends and family that I do. But I'll caveat it by saying it's taken a long time to get here. Like, many years. Folks have come and went. Things have changed. Time, the trick is not giving up and letting things kind of work themselves out to an extent. Me personally, unashamed to say, I'm a big believer in the power of prayer. So I just pray about it that the right people will be sent to me and I'll be put in touch with them. And to date, that has held 100% spot on true. What else? We got some good stuff done. Some of it I'm going to try to work into videos just talking about different things, not necessarily showing you from that weekend, but just stuff that we that we like to cover and focus on. I mean, we did some communications work, did a little bit of medical work, just some various things like that. You can only cram so much into a weekend, right? Let's touch on this real quick, and then I won't drag this one out too long because we'll run out of coffee if I do. On the medical side of things, practice moving an injured person. If you've never done it before, I encourage you to give it a try. Practice moving an injured person just like they are. Have somebody lay down and move them down your hallway of your house. Move them across the backyard. It can be very challenging. Now, for the person who's playing your injured person, here's the trick. They have to kind of role play and force themselves mentally to not help you. They either have to make themselves go just completely limp and don't unconsciously, help move, or depending on what you're simulating, maybe they've only got the use of one leg, so they have to consciously remember, okay, I've only got one leg, so maybe they can push a little bit with the other leg while you're trying to drag them or help them walk, but they got to remember not to use that other leg and make it unrealistic. Moving an injured person that's conscious is a challenge. Moving an injured person that's unconscious is an even bigger challenge. Now, and you really want to take it up a notch, have them put their gear on and have their weapon with them. Now, not only do you have to secure their weapon, now you got to move them with all their gear and everything on too, which is added weight, added bulk, etc. You might find it to be an eye-opener. Okay, now we were practicing doing it. Our doc brought out his. He's got a litter that's basically just a material soft litter with some webbing handles on it that folds up real small. But practicing putting a person on that and then moving them with it. One person, it's a challenge. Two people, it's hard. Three people, it's not as hard. Four people, it can be done fairly efficiently, but it's still a challenge. So if you got 4 people to move one injured person, that's 5 people. If you have obviously taken fire, and that's what's caused this person to be injured, somebody's still got to be shooting back at the people shooting at you in the first place. So now we're up to 6, 7, 8 people. Even with the with the folks that I've got, I may or may not be able to field 8 people at one time in the field on say a security patrol or something like that. So it's going to be difficult to move somebody that's injured in the field. If you ain't got a couple of people, unfortunately the person that gets injured, they're going to have to take care of themselves until you can suppress or take out whoever it is that's started shooting at you, causing said person to be injured. That means everybody needs to get practiced up on putting on a tourniquet, throwing on a pressure bandage on yourself, whatever. You got to practice those things yourself. So ideally, let's say you've got a 3-man security patrol in your property, neighborhood, whatever. Come under fire, person goes down, hit. That person needs to be able to put their tourniquet on, if it's an extremity wound, by themselves, while the other 2 people are laying down fire. You've got to be able to neutralize the threat before the other people can begin attending to the injured person, because it does you no good for them to start attending to the injured person only to get shot as well, because nobody's laying down fire taking out who's shooting at you in the first place. If you get your own tourniquet on, get the bleeding slowed down, hopefully stopped, but at least slowed down. Once everything's settled, that's when your buddies will come and adjust things and really tighten it down. Moving people with the litters, and we used a soft litter, and then we also used an actual fold-up hard stretcher. It's hard, guys. It's really hard. And we practiced the first drill with one of the smallest adult males among us. And we're all, I won't say huge, but we're all, large, strong males. And 4 of us lifting up the one small guy was a challenge, much less moving very far with him very fast. Then we did it with one of the larger guys amongst us. And this was with no gear on, mind you. This is with no gear. So all I'm saying is, those are all the little kind of intangible things that you can practice, that you need to practice, you must practice. And it doesn't require any shooting, it doesn't require any ammo, it doesn't require any live fire. You can do all that stuff right around your house. Get your friends, family together, whatever. Practice those things. So, probably waffled on long enough about that, as my brothers in the UK would say. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at for now. Had a great weekend. I can't say enough about how important it is to get with your folks, get with your friends and family. It's part of your circle, and train and practice. Get stuff done. Even if it's just little things. Every little increment that you do puts you that much further ahead of the game compared to the rest of the dumbasses. Old Neil Bortz used to use that on the radio all the time. Big fan of his. But yeah, the dumb masses, you will be that much further ahead of them for every little incremental bit of training and practice that you guys get in together as a group, as a family, as friends, whatever. So yeah, I'm sad that it was over, but we got a bunch more stuff planned. We've already got some more training dates set up that we're getting together to do stuff. State of the world continues to grow perilous. Separate video on that. But the clock is ticking You got to get out there and practice, guys. You got to go seek training, and you got to practice. You got to do both. And I'll close out on that. I know some people get wound up about the semantics of things. Training typically implies that you have a experienced instructor teaching you things. Practice is what you go and do with the training you've received from said instructor. I try not to get too wrapped up around the semantics of that. Sometimes I'll use the words interchangeably. That's the difference if you want to go with the difference. But do both. Go get good training from good, applicable instructors and practice it. Practice, practice, practice. Practice everything from starting a fire when everything's soaking wet, to moving injured folks, to communicating with each other, to shooting, to making a pot of coffee. Just all of it, guys. Do every little incremental thing you can. Don't get overwhelmed by the magnitude of it all, of everything that needs to be done. It's the epitome of the old, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's all you do. That's all you do. So, you guys take care. We're going to move on with a couple more topics here in the next couple of videos. So, I will see you in those. You guys have a good one.